This is Obal, and this is my Condi Revenant guide for PVE. Took a closer look at it, and it's not terrible as far as the Condi class goes. It's definitely not optimal for a Revenant though. If you want to be optimal on Revenant, you'll want to use the build in my other guide for Berserker Power Revenant. There are also better Condi classes to choose from. So given all that, if you still want to play Condi Revenant, then this is the guide for you. It's time to get excited because you get to press 2 more buttons than 1 and 2. So here's a chart to show you how much DPS you can be doing as a Condi Revenant versus a Berserker Power Revenant. The orange line is a Berserker Revenant doing Glint Shiro rotations. Blue is Condi Revenant, and purple is just pressing 1 on Glint with some facets active. It's going to end up doing about 15.5k DPS. That's about what Condi Ranger can achieve. That ramp up time though. This also assumes that the target is never going to be moving though. You're going to be stacking quite a bit of Torment and your damage is only going to go up the more it moves. This is going to be the damage based on how much time the boss spends moving, as shown at the top of the chart. This is what it would look like solo, and it's pretty much the same trend solo, so I'm not going to bother showing them all. I saw the same pattern with quickness as well, so I'm not going to bother to show that either, because I chart how I want. For builds, you want to run Corruption, Devastation, and Herald. For Corruption, you'll get chance to apply Torment on crit. You'll get Torment last longer, and you get a chance to remove boons on enemies. And you want to pick Venom Enhancement. You get 1 stack of poison on 20-second recharge. Not so great, but it does increase the duration by 50% of poison, and it'll put you over 100. Poison's not going to be doing very much damage for you for Condi Revenant, but there's really nothing else that's worth running there. You can go with Bolstered Anguish. You get more damage for every condition currently on you. It's very situational, this line. You can go for a little bit of chill. You can go for removing more boons and getting confusion. I would go with that if there's a boss with lots of boons on them instead. Again, that line's not that great either. You want to go with Diabolic Inferno. Pretty much every time you use Embrace the Darkness, you'll get a couple burning stacks, so that's pretty good. You want Devastation over Invocation since it does slightly more damage. It's also going to do more damage for your group since you're going to be bringing Assassin's Presence, and you're going to be doing Vuln on top of that. Invocation is really has nothing going on for it. Equilibrium's out of the picture since you're going to be spamming skills. You're not going to be over 50% ever, so it's not worth it at all. And it's going to help you soloing because you'll be applying Vuln that you wouldn't get with Invocation. You want to take Ferocious Strikes and Assassin's Presence. And this one's up to you. I would just go with Swift Termination. It's more reliable. But if assuming you're always hitting a foe from behind or the side, Assassin's Annihilation would be pretty much the same damage as taking Swift Termination. And you'll be getting some health from that, so that's good. So go with that if that's the case. And you'll mainly want Herald for taking Glint. It's great when soloing. It would take Hardening Persistence. And if that is going to mess up with aggro, Radiant Revival, Shared Empowerment, and Elder's Force. Again, you mostly want this so you can take Glint, so you have some utility value. For gear, you want all Viper armor, weapons, and amulet. You want sinister trinkets for the rest of your trinkets besides the amulet. You'll get about 26 condition duration. If you had just exotic armor, it'd be about 25. And if you add in the food and the utility, that's 30 more, so you end up with about 56. And you have 33% torment from your traits, so that will make you up to about 89% for that. And you want Balthazar runes, those will give you 45, so you'll be at about 101. So that's 100% there for burning, and that's your main source of damage along with the torment. You have 50% poison duration, so that'll be over 100 as well. Caps 100, so really no benefit in going over 100. It's just wasteful. So you don't really want to get any more Viper stuff than what I said, since that'll make you have less DPS. And for your sigils, you'll want Earth and Geomancy, and you should stick to Mace, Axe. If you really need a block, then you can have an offhand sword. Taking any other weapons really gonna make you lose out on Condis, so I would really not take anything other than that. For consumables, I would go with koi cakes. They're the best. You can get rare veggie pizzas as well, it's the same, but it gives you 10 more minutes. It's quite a bit more expensive though. Super veggie pizzas are nearly the same and fraction of the price. They're a really good choice too. And toxic focusing crystals are quite expensive, so you can get cheaper crystals if you want. And if you still feel like this build is shitty, then you can get some toilet paper as well. So as far as playing Condi Revenant goes, it plays a lot like Berserker Revenant. You're gonna spam 2. Every time it's off cooldown, it takes priority over pretty much every other thing that you do, because it's that good. It's pretty large, it's a fire field. You use Echoing Eruption afterwards. It's usually up after every other Searing Fissure, so that works out nicely. If they're both up, again, Searing Fissure takes priority over everything. Temporal Rift, you want to use that as well, unless you really need it as a CC because it's a damage increase. Auto Chain's not worth completing when you have the other stuff up. Glint, use Fast of Light as a heal. Use Fast of Darkness because you're pretty much always responsible for Fury. Fast of Elements, you want to stack it out of combat, and you want to use it in combat because it's a DPS gain. Fast of Strength can be good. If you are soloing, it's great. If you're in low might groups, it's good too. Fast of Chaos is good in some situations if you need it. Fast of Nature, you want to use that if you have a Mesmer in your group to get perma-quickness. For Malix, you want to use Embrace the Darkness as soon as you get in it. And fortunately, if you have Fast of Nature up, you'll need to turn it off towards the end so that you don't turn off Fast of Nature and lose out on quickness for your group, and so that you keep spamming 2 and have the energy to do so. For rotations, you want to start with Searing Fissure, Temporal Rift, Elemental Blast, and then Lag, and then Demon Stance, Embrace the Darkness, Searing Fissure again, Echoing Eruption, and then just use your skills off cooldown, prioritizing Searing Fissure, swap Legends off cooldown, keep using Elemental Blast while you're in Dragon Stance, and you can see that Demon Stance and Searing Fissure are coming up around at the same time, but you want to use Searing Fissure first because Embrace the Darkness will interrupt you from attacking. Always prioritize Searing Fissure. And that's about it for my guide. Hope you liked it. I'll see you next time.